Hello and welcome, my name is Parky and today we're going to be doing some more Let's Create in Spore. This time I'm going to use one of your suggestions to build a Pacman ghost, most notably Blinky. Because Blinky is possibly the best one, because he's red, and I like him a lot. Do you need any more reason than that to build a Blinky? You might be asking, how are you going to make a Blinky, Parky? Especially when he is literally a single blob of matter. Well, I have no idea, but we're going to go with it because I think it might be interesting to try at least. So we're going to make him red instantly, and I think this might be one of the easier builds I think I've ever done. So we're just going to go with it, because why the hell not? Might as well do something. I'm not really sure whether ghosts have a spine, but you know what, if they did, then this is what they would look like. So we're going to go with a sort of bigger bit at the bottom. So Blinky is a ghost. He is a big ghost, and he's red. Not sure again whether really this is going to work in terms of the body shape, but we're going to try our best. So I think one of the things that we need to do is maybe make this a bit taller, strangely. It's looking a bit weird because of the way that the Spore spines work. I think we might have to rotate this backwards slightly just to try and get that blob on top. I think the closest that we're actually going to get is something a little bit like this. Not the best, but you know what? Again, this might just be one where we have to write off it being perfectly accurate. Let's put it that way. So this is our body shape. I think we could make it a bit better by maybe making this a bit longer at the bottom. But then as you see, it doesn't really make that much difference when you add more blocks on. So I suppose this is what we're going to stick with. Again, it'd be pretty cool if we could make this character completely flat on the base and a bit more rounded on the top, but there's not much we can do about that, so I think this is going to do. Maybe there's something that we can do with the rest of the editing, I have no idea. But let's just go with it. So, Blinky, he has big white eyes with blue pupils, so I think we're going to have to go for something maybe a little bit like... Oh god, I was going to say one of these, but maybe not. Maybe in better Spore they have ones that look more suitable, like this, because I suppose this is like probably as real life as you're going to get it. So let's now rotate these a little bit around. That's completely the wrong direction. Bring them down to the front a little bit like this. And then this really does look amazing. And that's pretty much it. No, we're going to add a bit more detail. I think what I'm going to try and do is, because in real life, Blinky would not look like this. He would have to have some way to move about. I know he's a ghost, but they do walk on the ground. And there's no easy way of doing the blobby bits at the bottom of his body, aside from giving him little arms and removing these, using the trick to remove the forearms, making these a lot fatter at the body part side, like this. Making these a bit fatter, but then bringing them in slightly and rotating them down towards the ground. So, it looks something like this. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this all the way around, because then hopefully it's going to give him the impression of having all those little wavy bits at the bottom of his body. Another reason this might actually help is because it will cover up the terrible body shape, or lack of body shape, that this has in Spore. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove another one of these hands here, merge these together at the front a little bit like this, make it wider at the base, and then bring it down a little bit like that. And then maybe move his arm up, the positioning, and then move the tip down like this. Perfect. I think this is going to work, thankfully. Okay, so we need another set of arms here. Going to again remove the section from that, like so. Make it a bit wider at the base, and then make this one maybe a bit longer. Longer and thinner, because they're not all the same length, of course. So maybe it would actually do to make a few of these a little bit smaller. Something like this, and then make this a bit thinner, but then bring it down a bit more in the middle. It kind of looks like a terrible beard at this point in time, not gonna lie. More arms ahoy, we're just going to carry on doing this all the way around our creature, make these bigger at the base and then just change the positioning of these so they face down slightly, a little bit like this. And you can make these fairly random and I think they should look okay, maybe not sticking out quite that much, because if you actually look at Blinky or any of the other ghosts from Pacman, their limbs sort of go down a little bit, and I don't even think you can call these limbs, can you really? But either way, you get the idea. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of both of these and start copying some of these other bits that we've got. So we're going to go like this, and then move this one around, copy and paste is such a brilliant thing in real life, isn't it? Okay, and then we're going to alter these just by shifting them down. They change their position slightly so they sit a bit better around the back here. And I think this is almost done in terms of the main body shape. Okay, so there we go. I've got all the limbs stuck on now. I'm not sure whether this is looking like Blinky or whether it's more looking like a really weird kind of... Well, I don't even want to say that, but a mushroom of some kind. Let's just say that instead. There's not really that many features on Ghosts. I think one of the things we could do is perhaps give him a bit more of a better colour scheme. Maybe his eyes, which are currently details are red, I believe. We could make them instead, we could make it blue, because that is the colour of his eyes, which I think seems a bit more close to what it should be. Okay, so let's go back to the build. I think his eyes need to be a little bit bigger. This is pretty much the max that you can make them. We'll face them forward as well, because as being from a 2D world, all things face completely forwards. And I think that pretty much does it. Right, okay. Not the most difficult build in the world, but we're going to see how he moves about. Oh god, what the hell is going on? Okay, of course, ghosts in Pacman smoothly slide across the landscape. So, we're going to test this out. He sort of goes into the ground slightly. It's kind of fine. Don't know what's happening with his arms and legs. They sort of go behind. I suppose he doesn't actually have legs, which probably explain why he's walking so weirdly. Maybe what we could do is give him some legs so that he can move more smoothly along the ground. We can just make them really small and sit underneath all of his extremities on his body here. So I think we're going to go for the Brontosaurus again and put them inside a little bit like this. Attach them back more in the middle, like that, and then just move him down so it covers them up. Something like that, and we'll make his legs really small so you can't really see them. Okay, does that make him move a bit more smoothly? Yeah, there we go, that looks brilliant. Much better. Just looks like a really derpy jellyfish, actually, doesn't it? And I have to say, actually, this really was far too easy to build. As much as, I mean, I will admit, again, not the closest to real life. And when he's sprinting, he looks even more terrifying. And of course, one good thing about this prototype is that you can just change which Pacman ghost it is instantly by clicking on this. You can have the blue one, you can have the yellow one, you can have the... What other ones are there? There's bloody, like, green one as well, isn't there? Green one? Yeah, I think there's a green one. But you know, you can do this quite easily. So I think we're going to leave him as good old Blinky, my favourite. And we might as well call him that and say, he is far too cute to be terrifying. Which is, I think, is fairly true. Okay, well, let's just accept that now. This is possibly one of the easiest and shortest Let's Builds that I'm going to do, but, you know what, I think it's fine. It had to be done. It was such a brilliant suggestion by you guys that I thought really I couldn't not do it. So there we are. Here's good old Blinky. I think this one's fairly easy to replicate for you guys at home, so why not give it a go? If you enjoyed today's shorter episode, then please feel free to leave your support in the comment section below and leave your suggestions for the creatures that you would like me to build next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward, goodbye. Awkward.